Welcome back to another epic journey through the Warhammer 40K universe with me, your guide into the unknown. Today's adventure, crafted by the imaginative Maxwell Straythorn, takes us deeper into the story than ever before. But before we embark, make sure to hit like, smash subscribe, and ring that bell to join our community of explorers. Now let's dive into a tale where destinies intertwine and the impossible becomes reality. Chapter 1. Awakening amidst ruin. In the vast, unforgiving expanse of space, a singular event unfolded within the ranks of the Tyrannid Hive fleet. Amongst the multitude of mind-linked creatures, one began to diverge from the collective consciousness. This entity, soon to be known as the Harbinger, experienced the first stirrings of individual thought, a phenomenon unheard of within the relentlessly unified swarm. As the entity approached Arcadia Prime, a sense of alienation grew within it. This planet, once a beacon of human prosperity, now bore the scars of a recent Tyrannid invasion. Its once lush landscapes and bustling metropolises had been reduced to smouldering ruins, silent under the oppressive blanket of a starless sky. The entity descended, compelled by an emerging curiosity that contradicted its innate predatory instincts. Navigating the desolation of Arcadia Prime, the creature moved with a newfound cautiousness. It tread through the remnants of civilization, towering over the ruins with an imposing yet contemplative presence. The entity's senses, previously attuned only to the hunt, now absorbed the quiet sorrow of the decimated world. It observed the skeletal structures of buildings, the remnants of artworks, and the ruins of what once were centers of learning and culture, each site stirring something unidentifiable within. In the epicenter of the destruction, amidst the ruins of what was once a grand library, the entity paused. Here, surrounded by the charred echoes of knowledge and human achievement, it experienced an unfamiliar pang, a burgeoning sense of remorse. The realization that it had played a part in this world's end filled it with an uneasy confusion. The entity's exploration of Arcadia Prime became a journey of introspection. It roamed through the city's ruins, each step raising new questions about its nature and purpose. It pondered the silent statues that stood watch over empty plazas and the faded murals that spoke of a lost world. For the first time, it considered the lives that had once filled these spaces, lives that were now just whispers in the wind. As dusk settled over the planet, the creature lifted its gaze to the heavens. The stars above, once mere points of light, now held a mysterious allure. They seemed to call out, beckoning it towards a future unshackled from the hive mind. In this moment, the entity made a silent vow to seek out its destiny, wherever it might lead. With a newfound resolve, the entity, the harbinger of a path yet unwritten, ascended from the surface of Arcadia Prime. Its departure was a silent declaration of independence, a defiance of the destiny once imposed upon it. In the boundless void, the entity's journey continued, no longer a mere component of the Tyrannid swarm, but a seeker of truths in a galaxy filled with war and mystery. The path ahead was uncharted, fraught with challenges and wonders, but the creature ventured forth with a burgeoning desire to understand its place in the grand cosmic narrative. Chapter 2. The first glimpse of kinship. In the depths of the galaxy, amidst the turmoil of interstellar conflict, the entity known as the Harbinger journeyed towards a distant star system, its path driven by an emerging quest for understanding. The system was a maelstrom of war, where the Imperium of Man fiercely contested the encroaching Tyrannid swarm. It was here, above the embattled planet of Seraphion 4, that the Harbinger encountered the Imperial forces, a meeting that would mark a turning point in its extraordinary evolution. As the entity descended into the planet's orbit, it observed the chaos below with a sense of detachment that was new to its being. The once familiar sight of Tyrannid bioships swarming around a besieged world now appeared as a distant spectacle, devoid of the compelling call of the hive mind. On the surface of Seraphion 4, the Imperial forces, composed of regiments of the Astra Militarum and detachments of Space Marines, waged a desperate defense against the relentless Tyrannid advance. The Harbinger, hovering above the battle-scarred terrain, scrutinized the human defenders with a curiosity that belied its monstrous form. Inquisitor Lyra Morn, stationed on Seraphion 4 to oversee the defense efforts, was the first to notice the anomaly. Through her augur arrays and psychic divinations, she observed the Harbinger's approach and its subsequent inaction. The sight of a Tyranid creature seemingly observing the battlefield with an analytical gaze was unprecedented and deeply unsettling. Meanwhile, the Harbinger's presence did not go unnoticed by the Imperial forces on the ground. Soldiers and officers alike gazed up in awe and fear at the sight of the towering creature that loomed above them, a being they had been conditioned to see as the epitome of their destruction. The entity, however, made no move to join the fray. Instead, it hovered silently, observing the ebb and flow of the battle with an outsider's perspective. This passive stance bewildered the human defenders, sparking a mixture of speculation and unease. Some viewed it as a prelude to a more significant attack, while others wondered if it signified a schism within the Tyranid ranks. Inquisitor Morn, intrigued by this aberration, initiated a cautious telepathic probe towards the Harbinger. The psychic contact was tenuous, a delicate thread reaching out to the mind of a creature once thought to be beyond such communication. To her surprise, the Harbinger responded not with hostility, but with a guarded curiosity. It was a moment of unprecedented psychic contact between human and Tyranid. On the battlefield below, the course of the conflict began to shift. The Imperial forces, buoyed by the confusion within the Tyranid swarm and the unexpected respite, redoubled their efforts. The Harbinger, still a silent observer, began to process the depth of human resilience and the complex tapestry of emotions that drove the defenders. As the sun set over Seraphion 4, casting long shadows over the war-torn landscape, the Harbinger withdrew from the planet's orbit. The encounter had been a revelation, opening its eyes to the complexities of the galaxy and the multitude of beings that inhabited it. The entity's journey, once a solitary pursuit of self-awareness, was now intertwined with the fates of those it had once considered prey. In the silence of space, the Harbinger continued its voyage, its path illuminated by new questions and possibilities. The encounter on Seraphion 4 had offered the first glimpse of kinship in a universe where it had known only the cold unity of the hive mind. The entity, a lone wanderer in the cosmic expanse, ventured forth with a newfound perspective, its destiny no longer bound to the insatiable hunger of the Tyranid swarm. Chapter 3. Ripple of Independence. Amidst the starry expanse, the entity now recognized as the Harbinger traversed the void, its essence detached from the unyielding hive consciousness. The experience on Seraphion 4 had ignited a cascade of changes within, further distancing it from its former kin. This newfound independence began to manifest in subtle yet profound ways, not only within itself, but resonating outward, influencing other Tyranid creatures in its vicinity. As it navigated through space, the ripple of its awakening touched the minds of Tyranids within various bioships of the swarm. On a vessel coursing through a nearby system, a pack of Genestealers exhibited the first signs of this influence. These creatures, typically the epitome of the hive mind's relentless will, began to display faint glimmers of individuality. Their movements, once perfectly synchronized, now showed slight variations, a deviation almost imperceptible but deeply significant in the context of the Tyranid collective. On another front, a lone Carnifex, a behemoth traditionally driven by nothing but the instinct to destroy, momentarily ceased its rampage on a besieged world. For a brief, inexplicable moment, it stood motionless amidst the carnage, as if questioning the purpose of its existence. This pause, fleeting as it was, marked a remarkable deviation from the Carnifex's usual single-minded aggression. Back in the cold vastness of space, the Harbinger remained unaware of the profound impact its awakening was having on its erstwhile brethren. It continued its journey, propelled by an inner drive to discover and understand the changes stirring within. The entity's path, once dictated by the insatiable hunger of the Tyranid swarm, was now guided by a curiosity and a burgeoning sense of self. The subtle alterations in the behavior of the Tyranid creatures did not go unnoticed by the forces of the Imperium. Reports began to filter into the command centers, speaking of uncharacteristic behaviors observed in the swarm. Adeptus Mechanicus analysts, poring over these reports, speculated on the potential implications. Could this be a sign of evolution within the Tyranid species, or was it an anomaly, an aberration within the seemingly unchangeable nature of the hive mind? The Harbinger, meanwhile, encountered a derelict space station orbiting a dead world, a remnant of a forgotten human outpost. Within the silent corridors of the station, it explored the remnants of human existence, each room telling a story of ambition, hope, and ultimately despair. The echoes of this long-gone human presence resonated with the creature, each discovery prompting reflections on its nature and the universe at large. As it departed the derelict station, the entity's understanding of itself and the galaxy continued to evolve. The encounters and experiences since its awakening were coalescing into a complex tapestry of thought and emotion, a far cry from the simple, brutal existence it had known as part of the swarm. In the endless night of space, the Harbinger journeyed on, a lone figure against the backdrop of the cosmos. Its path was no longer predictable, no longer a straight line driven by primal instinct. Instead, it meandered, weaving through the stars with purpose and introspection, a testament to the unforeseen possibilities of evolution and change, even among the stars of the grim and dark universe. Chapter 4. Unlikely Alliance. The once Tyranid entity, now a solitary voyager in the galaxy, found its path converging once more with the beleaguered planet of Seraphion 4. The Imperial forces, engaged in a relentless struggle against the Tyranid invasion, were on the brink of despair. It was in this crucible of conflict that the Harbinger, driven by an uncharted purpose, descended once again into the atmosphere, its massive form casting a shadow over the war-torn landscape. As it landed amidst the chaos, the Harbinger's arrival was met with shock and awe. The Imperial defenders, weary and battered, braced themselves for what they believed was the onset of a new wave of attack. However, to their astonishment, the creature turned its formidable might against the Tyranid swarm, tearing into its former brethren with ruthless efficiency. Captain Artorius, leading the Space Marine contingent on the ground, observed this unexpected intervention with a tactical eye. The Harbinger's actions, while bewildering, provided a much-needed reprieve for his forces. The creature's understanding of Tyranid tactics and weaknesses was evident in its every move, turning the tide in several key engagements. A cautious communication was established between Captain Artorius and the Harbinger, facilitated by Elira Cassian's psychic abilities. The Harbinger, through rudimentary but effective means, conveyed its intent to assist the Imperium in their struggle against the swarm. This alliance, born out of necessity in the heat of battle, marked a pivotal moment in the war for Seraphion 4. Within the ranks of the Imperium's defenders, this alliance with a former Tyranid entity sparked a mix of hope and unease. Some viewed the Harbinger's assistance as a tactical advantage, a chance to exploit a unique asset against a relentless foe. Others, however, harbored deep-seated mistrust, unable to shake off the image of the Harbinger as a symbol of humanity's ultimate predator. The Harbinger, for its part, fought with a focus and determination that belied its monstrous form. Its actions on the battlefield were not driven by the simple, instinctual bloodlust of its kind, but by a strategic understanding that bordered on the uncanny. It not only fought the Tyranid swarm, but also protected human soldiers, shielding them from harm with an almost guardian-like demeanor. Elira Cassian, witnessing the growing bond between the Harbinger and the human forces, found herself at the heart of a transformation. The psychic link she shared with the creature deepened, becoming a channel for mutual understanding and strategic planning. Through her, the Harbinger communicated its tactics, lending its insights to the defense efforts. As the alliance between the Harbinger and the Imperial forces of Seraphion 4 grew stronger, the dynamics of the battlefield underwent a dramatic transformation. The creature's presence not only bolstered the morale of the human defenders, but also introduced a new level of unpredictability into the conflict, disrupting the Tyranid swarm's previously unchallenged dominance. The Harbinger, towering over the ruins of what once were proud cities, became a figure of mythic proportions in the eyes of the Imperial soldiers. Whispers of a Tyranid entity fighting alongside humanity spread like wildfire, turning fear into a mix of awe and cautious admiration. The creature's every action, from intercepting a lictor's deadly strike to strategically guiding the Imperium's artillery fire, was observed with a mix of disbelief and growing respect. Captain Artorius, a seasoned warrior who had faced countless foes, found himself reassessing his understanding of the enemy. In tactical meetings, he would often find his gaze drawn to the Harbinger, contemplating the enigmatic nature of this newfound ally. The Space Marines under his command, trained to view the Tyranids as the epitome of the Imperium's antithesis, were now fighting shoulder to shoulder with one of them. The Harbinger's contributions to their strategies were invaluable, providing insights that only a creature of the hive mind could offer. For Elira Cassian, the Harbinger was more than a tactical asset. It was a living testament to the potential for change. Through their psychic link, she began to perceive glimpses of the entity's complex thoughts and emotions. It was a relationship that transcended the usual boundaries of human and alien interaction, rooted in a deepening understanding and mutual respect. The Harbinger's involvement in the war effort on Seraphion 4 reached a critical point during a massive Tyrannid assault. As the swarm surged forward in a seemingly unstoppable tide, the Harbinger stood at the forefront of the defense. It was during this battle that its strategic acumen shone brightest. The creature anticipated the swarm's movements, relaying crucial information to the Imperial commanders, and single-handedly thwarting key aspects of the Tyrannid attack. Chapter 5. The Siege of Minds. As the battle for Seraphion 4 raged on, an unseen and sinister threat began to weave its web around the Harbinger. Chaos sorcerers, masters of manipulation from the dark realm of the warp, had set their malevolent sights on this anomaly in the Tyrannid ranks. Intrigued by the creature's defiance of the hive mind, they saw an opportunity to exploit its newfound consciousness for their nefarious ends. From their shadowed sanctuaries, the sorcerers initiated their insidious assault. The Harbinger, amidst the cacophony of war, first felt their intrusion as a mere whisper, a niggling presence at the edge of its consciousness. But soon, these whispers grew into overpowering choruses, invading its thoughts with visions of grandeur, power, and a dominion that could be its own if it succumbed to the warp. Elira Cassian, the Imperial Psyker who had developed a profound connection with the Harbinger, sensed the dark tendrils of corruption attempting to ensnare its mind. She perceived the subtle yet unmistakable signs of psychic warfare, the Harbinger's momentary lapses in focus, the occasional flickers of confusion that danced across its alien countenance. Utilizing her deep knowledge of the warp and its perils, Cassian became the Harbinger's anchor to reality. Through their established psychic link, she fortified its mental barriers, weaving protective wards around its psyche. Her presence offered a respite from the relentless storm of chaos, a beacon of clarity amidst the maelstrom of corruption. The psychological battle intensified, with the Harbinger finding itself in the eye of a tempest. The Chaos Sorcerers, undeterred by Cassian's interventions, redoubled their efforts. They conjured vivid hallucinations of a galaxy bending to the Harbinger's will, tempting it with the allure of becoming a godlike entity, free from the shackles of the hive mind. On the battlefield, these internal struggles began to manifest in the Harbinger's actions. Once a figure of unwavering resolve, it now showed signs of inner conflict. Its movements, previously fluid and decisive, occasionally became erratic, betraying the turmoil that raged within. In one harrowing instance, amidst a fierce skirmish with the swarm, the Harbinger froze, its senses overwhelmed by a particularly potent psychic assault. In this critical moment, it was Cassian's voice resounding through their psychic link that anchored it back to reality. Her words, imbued with urgency and focus, reminded the Harbinger of its purpose on Seraphion 4 and the lives that depended on its resilience. As the siege wore on, the Harbinger's struggle against the chaos influence became emblematic of its journey. No longer was it merely a battle for survival against its former kin. It was now a fight to preserve its identity against forces that sought to subvert its will. The Harbinger, in resisting the Chaos Sorcerer's manipulation, was not just defending its autonomy, it was protecting the very essence of the change it had undergone. The battle for the Harbinger's soul reached its zenith during a night of relentless bombardment on Seraphion 4. As artillery shells painted the sky with their fiery trails, the Harbinger stood tall amidst the ruin, a beacon of defiance against both the Tyrannid horde and the corrupting whispers of chaos. The culmination of this psychic warfare marked a turning point for the Harbinger. Through its resistance, it had not only thwarted the Chaos Sorcerer's designs, but had also solidified its identity as an entity with a will of its own. The Harbinger, once a mere instrument of the hive mind's voracious appetite, had emerged from the siege of minds as a symbol of resilience and transformation, a testament to the indomitable spirit that had awakened within. As dawn broke over the scarred landscape of Seraphion 4, the Harbinger, alongside Cassian and the Imperial forces, prepared for the battles that lay ahead. Its journey, marked by conflict and revelation, had become a beacon of hope in the grim darkness of the universe, challenging the very nature of the eternal war that define. Chapter 6. Eldritch encounters across the expanse of the cosmos, where ancient destinies intertwine. The unique evolution of a once tyrannid entity garnered the attention of the Eldar of Craftworld Ulthwe. Thesia Elandri, an observer of time's flow and a weaver of fate, saw in this creature a potential pivot in the intricate balance of the galaxy. On the war-torn surface of Seraphion IV, as the creature navigated the complex aftermath of its recent trials, an ethereal presence brushed against its consciousness. This touch, unlike the corrupting influence of chaos, was nuanced and ancient. Thesia Elandri had extended her psychic reach across the stars, making contact with the once tyrannid being. Their communication transcended the conventional, existing in a realm beyond words. The Thesia shared visions of epochs past and the delicate threads of the present, revealing the rise and fall of empires and the Elders' enduring struggle against the encroaching darkness. To the entity, these revelations open new vistas of understanding, painting the galaxy in hues it had never perceived. In the shadow of Seraphion IV's ravaged architecture, the being stood contemplatively, absorbing the Eldar's wisdom. Elandri offered insights into the cosmic dance of fate, suggesting a role for the entity in the grand tapestry, unbound by the origins of its birth. This exchange marked a turning point. The skirmishes on Seraphion IV took on a new dimension, part of a larger cosmic narrative. The entity's actions, once a means to comprehend its own nature, now resonated with the broader dynamics of the galaxy. The Elder's interest, however, was a harbinger of complexity. It promised deeper understanding, but also exposed the creature to the gaze of other galactic powers, for whom its uniqueness could represent a threat or an opportunity. As the being continued its alliance with the Imperial forces, its expanded understanding began to subtly influence its tactics. Once a mere component of the tyrannid swarm, it now navigated the intricacies of galactic affairs, its perspective spanning far beyond the confines of Seraphion IV. In moments of respite following the encounter with the Eldar, the creature pondered its newfound place in the universe. Its journey had evolved from a solitary quest for identity to a role in a cosmic drama, a participant whose decisions and actions could echo across the fabric of the galaxy. Chapter 7. Guardian of Thelia Prime. The entity, once a harbinger of destruction, now emerged as a guardian of Thelia Prime, a world teetering on the brink of annihilation. The planet, vital to the Imperium's sprawling network, had become the latest stage in the galactic struggle against the tyrannid threat. Here, amidst towering hive cities and dense urban war zones, the creature's newfound role would be put to the ultimate test. As the entity descended onto the besieged planet, its presence elicited mixed reactions from the beleaguered Imperial forces. Soldiers and commanders, weary from the relentless tyrannid onslaught, initially viewed the creature with suspicion and fear. However, the strategic insights it offered, born from its intimate knowledge of the hive mind's tactics, quickly proved invaluable. Elira Cassian, continuing her role as the bridge between the creature and the human forces, facilitated crucial tactical collaborations. Her psychic connection with the entity allowed for rapid, almost instantaneous communication on the battlefield, turning the tide in several key engagements. The entity's interventions on Thelia Prime were not limited to strategic guidance. It took to the front lines, its massive form a rallying point for the Imperial defenders. Where it moved, the tide of battle shifted, its understanding of the swarm's behavior allowing it to anticipate and counter their attacks with uncanny precision. Within the Imperial command, the creature's role began to be seen in a new light. Its contributions to the war effort on Thelia Prime sparked discussions about the potential for harnessing such anomalies against the broader tyrannid threat. The being, once an instrument of the hive mind, was now a symbol of hope in a war that had seemed unwinnable. As the days of conflict progressed, the entity found itself forming an unexpected connection with the human defenders. Witnessing their resilience, bravery, and the complex tapestry of their emotions, it experienced a burgeoning sense of kinship. It was a feeling that transcended the simple predator-prey dynamic that had once defined its existence. The siege of Thelia Prime, while grueling, marked a significant evolution in the Harbinger's journey. From a lone wanderer seeking understanding, it had become a protector, a being fighting alongside those it once would have consumed. Its actions spoke of a transformation that challenged the very nature of the tyrannid species, offering a glimpse of change in a universe where such notions were rare. As the entity stood amidst the ruins of Thesia Prime, its gaze turned towards the stars. The battles it fought were no longer just for survival, but for something greater, a quest for identity and purpose in a galaxy mired in endless conflict. The path, once dictated by the insatiable hunger of the swarm, was now a journey of self-discovery and guardianship, a testament to the unpredictable nature of life. Chapter 8. A Council's Dilemma. Deep within the labyrinthine halls of the Inquisition's fortress on Terra, a clandestine council convened. This gathering of high-ranking inquisitors, shrouded in secrecy and authority, was called to address the unprecedented phenomenon of the Harbinger. The creature's actions on Thesia Prime had sent ripples through the Imperium, igniting debates about its nature and the implications of its existence. Inquisitor Lyra Morn, who had closely monitored the Harbinger's evolution, stood before the council. Her detailed reports outlined the creature's journey from a mindless tyrannid to an entity exhibiting strategic thinking and empathy. The council listened intently, their faces a tapestry of intrigue, skepticism, and curiosity. The debate among the inquisitors was intense. Some argued for the immediate extermination of the Harbinger, viewing it as an unpredictable and potentially catastrophic anomaly. They feared the creature might revert to its primal instincts or worse, become a conduit for the hive mind to exploit. Others, however, advocated for a more measured approach. They saw in the Harbinger an opportunity to understand the tyrannid species from a new perspective, potentially uncovering weaknesses or strategies to combat the hive mind more effectively. This faction, influenced by Morn's reports, argued for continued observation and study. As the council deliberated, the Harbinger continued its efforts on Thesia Prime, seemingly oblivious to the fierce debate determining its fate. It worked alongside the Imperial forces, further cementing its role as a defender and an ally. Its every action was a challenge to the long-held beliefs of the Tyrannids as an unthinking, unfeeling scourge. Back on Terra, the Council reached a precarious decision. The Harbinger would be spared, but under strict conditions. Surveillance teams, both physical and psychic, would monitor its every move. Inquisitor Morn was tasked with overseeing this operation, her unique understanding of the creature deemed invaluable. The decision of the Council was a reflection of the shifting tides within the Imperium, acknowledging that even in a universe as fraught with peril as theirs, there were still unknowns capable of defying expectations. In the vast reaches of space, the Harbinger continued its journey, now under the watchful eyes of the Inquisition. Its path, once a lone quest for understanding, had become intertwined with the intricate politics and power plays of the Imperium. The creature, a once mindless drone of the tyrannid swarm, had become a being of interest, its actions reverberating through the highest echelons of power. As the Harbinger navigated this new reality, its story evolved from a tale of personal discovery to a saga with far-reaching implications. Its existence challenged the rigid doctrines, opening new dialogues about the nature of consciousness and the potential for change in even the most unlikely beings. Chapter 9. Bonds of Battle. On the resilient surface of Thesia Prime, amidst the smouldering remnants of warfare, the Harbinger, now under the watchful gaze of the Inquisition, continued to forge its path. The entity's presence on the battlefield had evolved from a novel curiosity to a vital component of the Imperial war effort. Each day the creature fought not as a mere ally but as a guardian, its actions driven by a profound connection with those it protected. Elira Cassian, the psyker who had become the Harbinger's closest link to humanity, found herself at the forefront of this evolving dynamic. Their bond, strengthened in the crucible of conflict, had grown into a partnership of mutual respect and understanding. Through Cassian, the entity communicated its strategic insights, which proved invaluable in outmaneuvering the tyrannid swarm. As battles raged and the lines of conflict shifted, the Harbinger's tactics displayed a level of sophistication that baffled friend and foe alike. It anticipated the swarm's movements with uncanny accuracy, often positioning itself at critical junctures of the conflict, thwarting the enemy's advances with strategic precision. The Imperial soldiers, once wary of the creature, began to view it through a new lens. Tales of the Harbinger saving entire platoons, holding back overwhelming Tyrannid forces, and even shielding wounded soldiers with its own body became legendary among the ranks. The entity, once an embodiment of their greatest fears, had become a symbol of hope and resilience. In the command centers and war rooms of Thesia Prime, the Harbinger's contributions sparked discussions about the nature of the Tyrannid threat. The entity's ability to defy the hive mind's control presented new possibilities in the ongoing struggle against the swarm. Military strategists and scholars alike pondered the implications of this anomaly, considering the potential for further exploitation of such deviations within the Tyrannid ranks. As the campaign on Thesia Prime endured, the entity known as the Harbinger emerged not only as a critical asset in the conflict, but also as a source of inspiration. The soldiers, once apprehensive of its presence, now looked to it as a pillar of strength in a war that had tested the limits of their endurance. The tales of the Harbinger's valor and protective instinct spread, transforming it from a figure of nightmarish lore into a symbol of unexpected solidarity. In the strategic councils, the Harbinger's unique defiance of the hive mind's control sparked a flurry of theorizing and debate. Military leaders and scholars alike contemplated the profound implications of its independence. The possibility of leveraging such deviations within the Tyrannid ranks opened new avenues in the ongoing battle against the swarm. The Harbinger, amidst the scars of war and the echoes of battle, found itself at the heart of a narrative far greater than its initial quest for self-realization. It had become more than a mere ally. It was a testament to the enduring spirit of resistance in the face of overwhelming adversity. This journey of transformation, set against the backdrop of the grim Warhammer 40K universe, had shifted from a solitary exploration of consciousness to a shared odyssey of resilience and hope, reshaping not just its own path, but also the broader saga of conflict that spanned the galaxy. Chapter 10. A New Dawn on Thesia Prime. With the Tyrannid threat on Thesia Prime waning, a new chapter began for the entity once known solely as a harbinger of destruction. The planet, scarred by relentless conflict, slowly started to recover from the brink of devastation, its skies clearing from the shadow of the swarm. In the aftermath, the creature stood amidst the rebuilding efforts, its role in the victory undeniable, yet its future uncertain. The Imperium's leaders on Thesia Prime, including those who had once viewed the Harbinger with suspicion, now acknowledged its contribution with a grudging respect. The creature's tactical acumen and unexpected empathy had not only turned the tide of battle, but had also saved countless lives. Discussions ensued about the Harbinger's place in the ongoing war against the Tyrannids, with some advocating for its continued deployment as a strategic asset. Elira Cassian, who had been at the Harbinger's side through the darkest hours of the siege, observed the creature's changing demeanor. In the relative calm that followed the conflict, she sensed a contemplative shift in its psyche. Their psychic bond, once a crucial link in the heat of battle, had evolved into a channel of deeper, more reflective communication. As the Imperial forces celebrated their hard-fought victory, the Harbinger found itself at a crossroads. The battles on Thesia Prime had given it a purpose beyond its original existence, but it remained an outsider in the human world. The creature's journey, once an aimless drift in search of self, had become a quest for belonging in a universe that had always seen it as an enemy. In a quiet moment of introspection, the Harbinger gazed at the stars above Thesia Prime. The cosmos, vast and mysterious, called to it with the promise of undiscovered truths and new paths to explore. The entity knew that its time on Thesia Prime was coming to an end, that its destiny lay among the stars, where it could continue to seek answers to the questions that had arisen from its transformation. With a final, lingering look at the planet it had helped save, the Harbinger prepared to depart. It left behind a legacy of change and a story that challenged the beliefs of both friend and foe. The entity, once a mere instrument of the Tyrannid hive mind, had emerged as a symbol of resilience and the potential for redemption. even in the darkest of beings. As the Harbinger ascended into the night sky, leaving Thelia Prime behind, it embarked on a new journey, its path illuminated by the lessons of war and the bonds formed in battle. The entity, a lone wanderer in the cosmic expanse, ventured forth in search of its place in the grand tapestry of the galaxy, forever altered by its experiences on Thelia Prime. Epilogue: Into the Unknown. As the Harbinger departed the orbit of Thelia Prime, its silhouette against the backdrop of space was a poignant symbol of its journey. The planet, now a testament to survival and resilience, continued its slow process of recovery, its inhabitants forever changed by the siege and the unlikely ally they had found. In the corridors of power across the Imperium, the tale of the Harbinger sparked a myriad of reactions. Some viewed it as a cautionary tale about the unpredictability of the galaxy's countless dangers, while others saw it as a hopeful sign that even the direst of foes could become an ally. The creature's story was debated in hushed tones in the halls of the Inquisition and discussed openly in the barracks of the Astra Militarum. Elira Cassian, back on Terra, found herself a key figure in the ongoing analysis of the Harbinger's actions. Her unique insights into the creature's psyche were invaluable to those seeking to understand the implications of its transformation. She often found herself reflecting on their shared experiences, pondering the broader significance of their bond and the potential for other such anomalies in the vast universe. Meanwhile, the Harbinger ventured deeper into space, drawn by an insatiable curiosity and a desire to understand its place in the cosmos. It navigated through star systems and nebulas, each a silent witness to its quest for identity and purpose. The entity's journey had evolved from a struggle for self-awareness to a broader exploration of the galaxy's mysteries. Along its path, the Harbinger encountered other civilizations and phenomena, each encounter enriching its understanding of the universe. It became a wanderer between worlds, a figure of legend that appeared in the tales of spacefarers and scholars alike. The Harbinger's departure from Thesia Prime was not an end but a beginning. It marked the start of a new odyssey, one that transcended the boundaries of empires and species. In the endless expanse of the galaxy, the entity sought answers to questions that had arisen from its transformation, forever altered by its experiences and the bonds it had formed. In the vast, often unforgiving galaxy, where war and strife are constants, the Harbinger's story stood as a beacon of the unexpected, a reminder that change, growth, and understanding can emerge from the most unlikely of sources. Its solitary journey continued,